Being a policeman, I'm interested. New Zealand has a very interesting model, Auckland especially, where noise complaints, etc., are dealt with by private security firms on behalf of the council. And when there's a failure to comply, the police are called and they simply go and do the job of enforcing the warrant. If something like that was brought into Australia, do you feel that there then starts to be the opportunity for professionalism under a, I guess, more governed environment to operate, which would then allow, I guess, the people coming out of university to be working in larger, more strictly controlled organisations than a typical security company as they exist today, just purely in private enterprise?
I don't see anything wrong with the public dealing with minor matters. In Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew brought in place a situation where people who live in their big home units, they'd have a committee there, and if someone had a loud party repeatedly, the committee would just decide they were going to be moved out. The only role of the police was to be there to make sure they moved out. There's an advantage, but you can't expect the academic sector to agree with something like that. They never will. They think on one hand they're all corrupt, or on the other hand they're unaccountable. So they talk about accountability all the time, and this is one of the big issues of the higher ed sector. They want everybody to be accountable other than themselves, because they're totally unaccountable. What has to happen in terms of the professionalisation process, it's got to be led by practitioners. It can't be led by non-practitioners. And at the moment it's led by non-practitioners. Some criminologists who, I don't know, they come from University in Melbourne probably, or up here. They've never worked, they've probably come from a private school. And I hear them all the time, oh, you don't need to have worked in security or the police. All you've got to do is have a PhD and you can teach it. Well, it's not quite that simple, because applied learning is about teaching people to put theory into practice. And they haven't got the capacity to do that because they don't know what practice is. One of the reasons New Zealand is able to capture that is there are national police as well. Whereas here you've got a federal model, and you've got a federal police that, look, they don't do much other than not give the state police their fair entitlement of the funding. And that's, and then they train all the overseas police departments how to do face-to-face policing, and they don't do it themselves. So it's, you know, it's a complicated model.